Ana Laura Costa Porçborg spent most of her childhood in Santarém, a Brazilian municipality with just over 300,000 inhabitants. At the age of 16, she moved to the United States where she lived with some relatives in Boston. There she completed high school. After that, Anna decided that she wanted to continue living in the United States, as she had fallen in love with the country. She then asked her parents for permission, who, upon realizing how excited she was, decided to let her live in the United States. Later, Anna enrolled at Johnson & Wales University, where she started a business administration course and even worked as an assistant manager in a multinational company. In 2022, then 22 years old, Anna was living in the state of Virginia and decided to enlist in the United States Army. In order to do that, she had to pass several tests, in which she had a good result and thus managed to enter the military force. After that, Anna went through war training, serving 3 months at Fort Columbia in North Carolina, and upon completion, she would have gained a few days of recess for the end of the year celebrations. Even far from home, Anna kept in daily contact with her parents who were in Santarém, talking about her day-to-day life and sharing the news. She would then have told them that she would take a trip to Los Angeles to spend Christmas and would stay in a hotel. On the 24th, after landing at the airport, Anna would have sent a message to her mother, letting her know that everything was fine, and told her details of how the next few days would be like, such as what she would have for breakfast at the hotel and what clothes she would wear. She would have talked to her mother several times a day, and throughout the week as well, until, on December 27, 2022, at 10:45 p.m. Brasilia time, Ana Laura responded for the last time. In the following days, Urbina, Anna's mother, sent several messages to her daughter, but received no response. She started calling more times a day, and even then her daughter didn't answer the phone. Urbina knew something was very wrong, as Ana Laura wasn't one to disappear just like that. It was then that she decided to get in touch with a friend of her daughter, a boy named Luis Antonio, but like Anna, he also didn't answer the calls. Urbina spent that whole day waiting for a call from her daughter Ana Laura or her friend Luis, but didn't receive any. This obviously made her even more worried. An aunt of Anna, who lives in the United States, more specifically in New Jersey, also got in touch with Luis asking for an answer. Luis, despite not having answered Anna's mother's calls, answered her aunt's call and said that he and Anna had traveled to Los Angeles together and that they were staying at the same hotel. He also said that he and Anna had a relationship, something that until then Anna's family was not aware of, as she had never told them about it. During that same conversation with Anna's aunt, Luis said that she never told him about the relationship because for some reason Anna wanted to keep it a secret. Still during this conversation, Luis told Anna's aunt that they had an argument that she would have left the hotel to go for a walk and get some fresh air, but the hours passed and she didn't return to the hotel. Later, Anna's mother managed to speak with Luis, but the boy only told her that Anna had left the hotel and hadn't returned, hiding the information about the supposed discussion they had. He even apologized for not answering the calls and not having contacted her before, claiming that Anna's aunt who lives in New Jersey would have asked him not to say anything about Anna's disappearance, which later it was proved to be a lie. On December 30, 2022, Urbina sought out the Federal Police of Brazil and reported her daughter's disappearance. At the same time, Anna's family members living in the United States called the Los Angeles police and also informed about her strange disappearance. Before we continue, we need to better understand what was the relationship between Luis Antonio and Ana Laura. Luis Antonio Gomes Acai was 36 years old and would have met Ana Laura 2 years before through a cousin of a friend who also lived in the United States. Ever since he saw Ana Laura for the first time, Luis wanted to be with her anyway, but Ana Laura didn't want him. According to close people, Anna thought Luis was too old for her and said he wasn't her type. Even knowing that Anna didn't want anything to do with him, Luis continued to insist until he found a way to impress her with a travel. Luis was not rich, but he spent months working to save money, and with that money he paid for the trips for him and Anna. Urbina went to New Jersey twice, and both Louise would have accompanied Anna Laura and her mother for lunches and some walks, but Anna would have introduced Louise as a friend to her mother. In addition to the age difference between the two, Urbina also noticed that they had very different personalities. According to sources, once contacted by Anna's aunt, the Los Angeles police went to the hotel where Anna and Louise were staying. To the police, Louise would have said that the two were actually engaged and told the same version that they had argued and that Anna would have gone out for a walk, but didn't return. He added that he used up at least 2 tanks of gas driving several miles across Los Angeles looking for Anna, but unfortunately he couldn't find her. He even sent a message to Anna Laura's mother saying that he had filed a missing persons report, but it was not clear whether he actually filed this complaint or not. Louise also stated that he had tried to register this complaint since the first day that Anna disappeared, but the police officers of the department allegedly refused, telling him that it was necessary to wait a little longer so that they could register the disappearance complaint. According to him, the police would have suggested that Anna Laura would have taken her things and boarded a plane to the family home in Brazil. He said that he tried to convince the police that it was impossible, as Anna had a whole life in the United States and would not return to Brazil so suddenly without any explanation.
A gente só discutiu, ela saiu do quarto, da cara, e eu pensei que ela ia tomar um ar, fazer alguma coisa e não voltou, entendeu? A mulher acabou de me ligar da polícia, que eu tô ligando lá demais, falou que eu não... Sabe o que a mulher falou pra mim? Ela falou assim, ó, ela não está desaparecida, ela pegou um voo de volta pra casa e ela simplesmente não quer estar mais com você. Eu falei, mas não tem como, ela deixou as coisas tudo dela aqui. Eu falei, até o uniforme do exército tá aqui. Sabe o que ela falou pra mim? Ela falou assim pra mim, as coisas é que você quiser, se você quiser você deixa aí, se você quiser você joga fora, não tem importância, se você quiser levar pra família dela você leva, mas ela não está desaparecida, você não tem que ligar mais pra polícia. Tu acredita nisso?
Later, it was proved that this whole story of Louise was also a lie, and he had not even gone to the police department to file the complaint. The police officers who went to the hotel where the two were staying were authorized to enter the room, and when searching the place, they could notice that there were many of Anna's personal belongings, including her army uniform lying in the closet. This made them rule out the possibility that perhaps Anna had left of her own accord. As soon as they finished searching the hotel room, the police decided to take Luis Antonio in for questioning, and the FBI got involved in the case. The police didn't have to try very hard. Since a short time of interrogation, Luis confessed that he would have taken Anna Laura's life because she wanted to end the relationship and he didn't accept it. However, even confessing to the crime, Luis didn't give details of how he would have done everything, and also didn't tell the police where the body was. He did this in an attempt to escape conviction for lack of evidence, or to get some kind of deal with the prosecution. On January 2, 2023, the FBI communicated to the family through the Brazilian Federal Police, informing that Luis had confessed that he had taken Ana Laura's life, but that they didn't know where her body was. On January 7th, Luis proposed a deal with the prosecution, in which he would reveal the location of Anna's body, but in exchange, he could be released on bail to answer for the crime in freedom. The prosecution accepted the deal, and Luis informed them that he had dumped Ana Laura's body in a mountainous region in California, whose exact location was not disclosed to the public by the police. The amount of bail for Luis was set by the authorities at $2 million. It is not clear if this amount had been informed to him before he closed the deal, but what it seems is that he tried to get along using American law in his favor, and we can say that he had a taste of his own medicine. With the supposed location of Anna's body in hand, the police set up search teams to search the entire mountainous area informed by Luis. However, the region had been the target of heavy rains for more than a week, and this made the progress of the searches very difficult, causing them to suspend operations. So far, Ana Laura's body had not yet been found by the authorities. Luis is still in prison, and his defense has instructed him not to give any information about how he hid the body and where it could be, so that if the body is not found, he will probably get a lighter sentence. With the repercussion of the case in the media, and also on social media, something dark was discovered about Luis's past. The man is suspected of taking the life of another girl in 2017 in Brazil. The girl, coincidentally, was also called Anna, and would have had a relationship with Luis for about 4 months, and when she told him that she wanted to break up, she mysteriously disappeared. She was reportedly last seen on February 27, 2017. Luis was arrested at the time, but was released for lack of evidence, and later the case was dropped as the body was never found. However, due to Anna Laura's case, this other case that was archived was investigated again, and for legal reasons some information is being kept confidential so as not to disturb the investigations. In addition to all this, several Brazilians who live in the United States began to appear, saying that they suffered coups by Luis Antonio, in which they suffered financial losses. According to some family members, Ana Laura was a very private person and didn't talk about her love life with almost anyone, but she would have confessed to a cousin 4 days before the crime that Luis was just a hook and that she was already fed up of his behavior. Anna's family denied that the two were engaged, as some news portals released, and also denied that the two lived together, since Ana Laura lived in the state of Virginia and Luis in the state of New Jersey. They didn't have a daily contact. They saw each other occasionally. Most of the time, the biggest contact between them was when they traveled together. Still, according to the family, Luis would have shown an obsessive behavior for Anna, and no one knew how long they would have been in a relationship. The search for Anna's body continues, but according to the authorities, due to the time that had passed and the climate of Los Angeles, the task of finding her becomes increasingly difficult. Alright folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching until the end, best wishes, and I see you next time.